KR Sports here with the great Freddie Roach. Tell me, man, here for Machado's title defense against Cancio. The only Puerto Rican champion right now. One of the few that there is. Tell me about this fight.
I think it's a great fight, and one people shouldn't miss. And Machado, I think he's developing into one of the best fighters in the world. He's getting better and better all the time, and I just very, very impressed with his work ethic and all the hard work we do, and it all shows up in the fights. And he's been doing really well lately. And 130 is a little bit of a struggle, but not too much. And I think I would like to unify all the titles and then maybe move up to 135 eventually.
I was just going to ask, he's a very tall guy. So 130 seems a little like it would be a struggle. I mean, do you see him being able to stay to collect all the belts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small struggle to make 30. I mean, he's pretty lean and so forth. He is tall, yes, but he knows his diet and so forth, and he's very good. And he never lets himself get too heavy, and that's the key factor. Because some guys blow up and make it more difficult to get down and so forth. So he doesn't have that problem, and he's making 30 somewhat easy, but I mean, maybe a little bit of a struggle, but very small.
Well, who would you like to see him in with next? I mean, JoJo's on the card. He's a former title challenger. He's at 130 now. Tank is obviously there. I mean, there's other champions at 130. Like, do you have a name in mind that you're kind of...
Is Davis at 130?
Davis is at 130 now, yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's a good fighter, yes, but not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but he's very solid and good, and I think we need a challenge like that.
He has the fight with Modest obviously fell through. Where you guys fight on the same day. Were you ever thinking maybe we can kind of like put this together somehow, or at all? Was it always just kind of like it wasn't going to work?
Hopefully we can put this together. I mean, these promoters get off their asses and work together, and it's just there's a winner and a loser, and someone's gonna be happy and someone's gonna be sad, but that's part of life. I said, but I don't like you, so I don't want to deal with you. It's so foolish. I mean, they're making the best sport in the world like second or third, because I mean, if the best fights the best, nothing will touch boxing.
100% true. I completely agree with you. An example of kind of the best or the good fighters fighting each other. Canelo's fighting Jacobs. That's a good fight. Tell me, break down that fight for me, man.
It's a very good fight, and you've got a real classic boxer against a good puncher, who is maybe one of the biggest stars in the world right now, and I look forward to that fight though, because he can be outboxed maybe, but is the other guy maybe a little bit too strong for him, and maybe he can hurt him or knock him out somewhere along the way. But it is a fight that I want to watch, and it'll be great to be at that fight. It'll be great.
I talked to a lot of people, a lot of kind of boxing insiders, like trainers like yourself, and they're just very excited. Roy Jones is very excited about that fight. A lot of people are very excited about that style matchup. How do you see that style matchup working out, being that Jacobs is a solid, tall guy, has a good size over Canelo?
Yeah, and the thing is, he's always been a great boxer. He's always given guys trouble with his height and his jab and his reach advantage. And he's a very difficult fighter, but maybe this one's maybe too much for him, too much firepower. You've got a young, strong man that can really fight. So it's really interesting to see how this one goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, man. I'm excited too. Another middleweight fight coming up. Supposed to be coming up. Billy Joe Saunders is supposed to finally fight Andrade. That fight's supposed to make up. How do you see that fight playing out?
Yeah, it's just it looks really good and so forth, and it's just there's a lot of talk about it and so forth. But again, it's another fight that I would love to see. And one of the other matchups I'm really interested in is where My old fighter, Amir Khan.
I was just about to ask you about that one. Yeah, Amir Khan versus Crawford.
Crawford has shown me that he's a real good boxer. He can move. He has great legs. He can go the distance if he has to. And then in his next fight, he goes out there and he blows the Thai fighter away. And who I saw win the world title in Russia, and I says, they better not take this guy lightly. I was worried a little bit, and he went out and blasted him in the first round. You know, he can punch, he can box, he can do it. I think he's the best fighter in the world today. I don't know if he's the best person or anything like that, but fighter, he's doing really well, and he knows how to fight. And I think that fight ends early. And Amir, I'm friends with, and I wish him well. But I think I don't think he'll win this one.
With being that you're say Crawford is the best fighter in the world, Spence, I'm sure, would have something to say about that.
Yes.
How does that fight play out?
Well, that's a fight that everyone needs to see, and then it needs to be made because that is two of the best prospects in the world. And you know what? Who wins that one? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Freddie.